What's up, guys? Welcome back to the FNG Academy. Buck here, former Green Beret, here to help you guys.
No. Get up. I got this.
All right.
What's up, guys? Kurt here, former Green Beret, here to help you guys get selected. All right, so for those that don't know me, my name is Kurt. I'm a former 18 Charlie from First Group, and I'm here to tell you guys what it's like in the Q course as an 18 Charlie, what team life is like as an 18 Charlie, and what made me want to become an 18 Charlie before this whole thing began. For me personally, I wanted to be an 18 Charlie because I grew up in a construction background. I loved building things with my hands. I loved the thought of making bombs, and I loved the thought of blowing things up. So for me, an 18 Charlie just felt like the perfect job for me. So going into the Q course, I had no idea what it was going to be like as an 18 Charlie, going through the Charlie course or anything beyond that. I just thought it would be cool to build things and blow things up. In the Charlie course, I was completely unprepared. Growing up, all through school, I was terrible at math. Got to the Charlie course and realized real quick that math is a huge portion of the Charlie course. So the best thing I would recommend for anybody wanting to be an 18 Charlie is brush up on your algebra skills. All right, so make sure going into the Charlie course, you have a good base of knowledge for algebra, especially longhand algebra by hand, not with a calculator, because when you're in the course, you're not going to be able to use any of that stuff. Also, you need to be prepared to be in a very high stress environment. I'm talking any day, anything you do could be considered a safety violation. You got to think, we're dealing with bombs, we're dealing with explosives. These things are dangerous. They could actually hurt you or kill you. So anything you do could be a potential safety violation, which will get you dropped from the course quicker than anything else. So stepping over det cord or incorrectly doing calculations on your explosives, your minimum safe distances, your net explosive weight, all that stuff will get you dropped if you're not paying attention. So you need to have a high level of attention to detail. So for me, I had an absolute blast going through the course. There's a bunch of different phases, calculation and placement of charges. That one was a beast because of all the math that was involved. But one of my favorite portions of the course was what's called homemade explosives. Now this is where you get to make your own bombs, own explosives from all readily available supplies, anything you could buy at a hardware store, a hobby shop. So for me, that was one of the best parts of the course. Also one of the most dangerous parts of the course. But again, it is a very fun, fulfilling portion of the Q course because this is where you're actually learning the meat and potatoes of your job. The second part of the Q course that I really like, or the second part of the Charlie course that I really liked was the construction phase. Now in this, a lot of people don't really like that. They want to go in for the bombs, but the construction phase is very important. And it's a big part of what we do as a Charlie on a day-to-day basis. So for this, you're going through everything from electrical, running electrical, plumbing, basic construction. At the end of it, you take all these skills that you put together and you do a giant construction project. For us, we got to build a pole barn, which was phenomenal because we go out and you have this empty piece of land and then we do everything from pouring the foundation to putting up the walls to doing everything, the roof, all of it. And so at the end, you put your class sign on there and it's something you can be proud of for years to come. Whenever you come back to Fort Bragg, you get to see and say, that was something that I had my hands in. Another aspect of being a Charlie, the less sexy side, the stuff people don't talk about, is the paperwork, is the inventories, is all of the property books and equipment. So when you get to a team, and you'll get a little bit of this experience at Robin Sage in the Q course as well, but when you get to a team, one thing you're going to notice as a Charlie, especially a junior Charlie, is you're going to be doing a lot of inventories. You're going to be handed a property book, which is basically a binder with all of the property, you'll be handed a property book, which is basically a binder with all of the hand receipts for all of the equipment on the team. And this is going to be your baby. You're going to have to do inventories on a monthly basis where you're laying out property, you're laying out equipment, and you're just going through and counting. And this is a pain because you have to track down all of the other sections. You have to find their equipment. You have to lay it out. Then when you get a new commander, anytime that happens, you have change of command inventory, which is 100% of all of your equipment that's strewn about all over the place, whether it be the arms room, storage cabinets, connexes, wherever it is. You have to find all this equipment and you have to count and inventory every piece of equipment with the commander. And it is a giant pain. You're there for super long hours. But as a Charlie, especially as a junior Charlie, this is something you're going to become very familiar and very comfortable doing. So coming out of the 18 Charlie course, you're going to think that you are hot shit when it comes to explosives. You're going to be like, I just got done doing 12 weeks, whatever the length of the course is now. of nothing but explosives. And now I'm going to get to my team and I'm going to teach them everything that I know. Well, let me tell you something. When you get to that team, you are going to be one of the least experienced guys when it comes to explosives. They're more than likely going to put you in front of a group of whether it be your team or the entire company, and they're going to expect you to train that company or team, whatever it is, on explosives. And they already know damn well that they know more than you do, so they're just going to want to see how you perform when you get up there and start telling them how to build charges that they already know how to build. As a Charlie, this is something that you're going to also have to get comfortable doing, but it sucks because you get up there and think you're hot shit, and immediately you're going to start getting hazed. I remember my first demo range, I had to draw all this demo, which I had no idea how to do. But of course, as the junior Charlie, I had to figure that out. That was a huge ordeal. I had to go to the B team, partner with all these people. We finally get to the range and I start leading my course and immediately people start ribbing me on it. I'm messing things up left and right. I'm nervous. I'm shaking around. And finally, one of the other Charlies had to jump up and help me and we got through it together. But it builds your bond and it builds cohesion as a team, and it's something you're going to have to do. And at the end of the day, we had a great time and we moved on and we were all better for it. Ooh. Oh, here we go. As far as being an 18 Charlie, when you're about to go out on a deployment, for me, all my experiences were going on JSETs all around the world, which is a training exercise where we go and we train with other nations and we help build up their capabilities, and they also help build up our capabilities as well. When you're getting ready to go on a JSET, being the Charlie, again, you're in charge of all the logistics of the team. So you're the one that has to go around. You have to get everything ready for the pallet. All of the equipment has to get laid out, inventoried, packaged, identified and marked correctly. You have to know where everything is, what pallet everything is on, whether you've got equipment that's going on a pallet somewhere or other equipment that's being carried by hand. You have to know at all times where all this equipment is. It's up to you as the 18 Charlie to also get all the clearance paperwork and documentation ready that's needed to get out of country and also into country. So for us, we always flew commercial when we went abroad, and it was a lot of extra painstaking steps to make sure that everything was prepared so that we could get into country smoothly and have all of our equipment. You got to imagine we're going through an airport with cases upon cases of weapon systems, sensitive equipment, high value equipment, and we have to make sure that everything makes it there on time. And it's not easy flying through a lot of these countries with weapons. A lot of these countries don't want people bringing cases of weapons, whether it be automatic weapons, sniper systems, pistols, whatever the case. They don't want these into their countries. So getting into the airport, you got to go through a lot of country clearance and a lot of steps, which can be a huge pain. But as the Charlie, again, you're going to have to be responsible for all this and make sure that everything's smooth. If you get in a country and you're missing a form and it holds up movement, it's going to hold up the entire deployment, and all of that weight will be on your shoulders and you're going to look like an idiot, and you're definitely going to feel it from your team. So attention to detail and being squared away and partnering with other people, other Charlies that have done this before, is going to be key. All right, guys, so that's just a quick rundown on life as an 18 Charlie. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Clearly, but it's obvious. I know.